Hello, this is Gabi from Bluebonnet Crafters, and in this video I would like to introduce you to our new turtle square pin loom, and this is it. This is our first turtle square pin loom. It's 2 inches on each side, and as you can see, the pins are Fine-Sett, which means it's a fine pin spacing. Let me quickly tell you the story, how we came to that. And if you have been following us, you remember probably when we introduced the Elongon, our first elongated hexagon, we were talking about Linda Friends and Lucy Boston's patchwork of the crosses. Oh, this is a little bit glimmering. So, which means these are all the blocks made of elongated hexagons, which we now could make with our Elongons. But one thing that has been bothering us since we started this is that if you want to connect those blocks, you need those little squares. Can you see them here for the corners, and then for the sides? You need those little squares. And this has not been an issue with the Elongons for worsted weight yarns, because most of the square looms that are available, whether they are weave-its or what have you, zoom looms, they do have a proper match in fabric, but there was really nothing available for a Fine-Sett. So when we introduced our Elongon for Fine-Sett, there was really nothing that properly matched that we could make those squares. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and then this was the very famous duh moment when we realized that if we take out this center section and just skip the whole thing, we have a square. You can probably see this when I hold them next to each other. We have a square, and as a matter of fact, it weaves exactly the same as the first part of weaving a hexagon. So this is a real duh moment. From our existing Elongons, we took out the middle section here, the middle section where you weave back and forth, and just put the top and the bottom together, and this turns into a square, and you weave it exactly the same as you weave the first part of a hexagon. And now we can make matching squares to our elongated hexagons. So ta-da, here we go. This is what it looks like. This is the one that goes with our Elongon Fine-Sett. Again, this is like 2 inches side to side. It has the same number of pins, and on the back it's the square. You have to look for the square 2-inch Fine-Sett. You need 2.7 yards of yarn, and it doesn't have the wraps because pretty much you just did you don't have to wrap, you just weave till you get to the corners, and then you're pretty much done. You just need the lengths for the diagonal, and then you're pretty much done. Let me tell you just a little bit about the construction of these looms. You see here that they have the same lines at the top and at the bottom as you have on the on our hexagons. Let's see if you can see that, which means this is where you start, and then you start on the top and the bottom pin, and just start weaving the first part exactly as you weave a hexagon. You will notice that there are no pins on these sides, and this is because if you have to, I can show you here, these pins are so close together that you can't get in between with a crochet hook. And you can kind of weave like this, but we found out that it's much easier if you can weave back and forth. And so this is why you don't have pins here at the corners on the left and the right, because that's where you will be weaving. I'm making a separate video with weaving instructions, but I wanted to at least mention this here. The loom ships with the loom itself and the locker hook, all you really need is a crochet hook, but the locker hook comes in handy for the last row. And then we have a special quick start guide for the square pin looms. It's pretty much repeats the first part of weaving a hexagon, but tailored to weaving the squares. And it shows you here, for example, how you weave in the center where the pin actually can slide through. So this is a quick start. If you already know how to weave hexagons using the turtleloom method, there's nothing new for you to learn. You pretty much just weave the first part, and then until you run out of space, and then your square is done like this. But it's a good reminder, or a good way for new weavers to get started. Let me show you quickly our launch project, because it's far more than just connecting Lucy Boston's squares. Elongated hexagons have their own characteristics, so you can do a lot of designs that you can't do with regular hexagons. If you just add one shape, like a square to it, it broadens. It's exponential how many more things you can actually make with it. And I made a little table topper. I used Lion brand. It's called Summer Kiss because it's a cotton yarn made for summer, but it just weaves up beautifully. You can probably see it here a little bit. I made a table topper, and it's more kind of an education piece than just for beauty, because I wanted to show you a few options of the things that you can do. Let me just zoom out here a little bit so that you can see, well, you can't see the whole thing, but almost everything. So you can see here, this basically the whole design in this case is one row of elongated hexagons and one row of squares, another row of elongated hexagons and a row of squares. So you see the pattern or the structure is the same: squares, hexagons, squares, hexagons, squares, hexagons. But even if you just use one contrasting color, you have so many options of things that you can do. You can skip them. Here we have a red square, white square, which blends in with the background red square, or a row of red squares. Here in the center, I have a mix of red and white elongons, and they are framed, so it's almost like a circle that you can make in your design with red hexagons and squares. So lots of possibilities. This is just a little study piece. You'll see some more ideas, basic ideas on where this can go on our turtleloom blog website. But I just wanted to show you this study piece to give you an idea of what you can do beyond just connecting elongated blocks. So I hope you enjoyed this very brief introduction again. I will do a separate video to show you step by step how to weave. If you already know how to weave a hexagon, a turtleloom hexagon, there's nothing new to learn. You will just use the first bias part until you run out of space and your square is complete. If you are new to hexagon or new to weaving, you can use the quick start guide, or you can use it also as refresher, and there will be a step-by-step video that shows you exactly how to do it. So I hope you are as excited as I am about this new addition to our looms. Some people already asked us, like, oh, are you making them in different sizes? To some degree, yes. Are you making other looms? To some degree, yes. But we're not getting into the loom making business, making just any loom we can come up with. We will focus on hexagons and everything you can do with hexagons, because that's already worth a lifetime. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I will see you happily weaving some squares and elongated hexagons. Thank you. Bye bye.